again, as you can see. But as you can also tell, it's a little bit on the cooler side. But this is really, I think it's almost mystical because while we've been out here the last half hour, I mean, the beach has been completely covered with fog, and now it's departing with the sun coming through. It's really kind of this mystical effect with the fog and the sun. And oh, it is so sweet anyway. And as you can tell, it happens to be the weekend because look at all the boats out there. Mubarak steps down, and will Obama step down also?
Well, yeah, he's using okay. He said the majority of the people did not want Mubarak in office. Well, the majority of the people in our country are saying the same things about Obama that they're saying about Mubarak, except is it going to be a double standard that if it's all right for Americans to protest and they're Nazis, but if you protest in a Muslim country, you're a liberator.
And Obama makes a huge mistake in Egypt, or did he?
Well, everything's got to go towards him, Muslim empire, folks. But here's your good one, though. I've got you. Does anybody but me remember that the military put Mubarak in power? The military is still in power, and the military is going to put the next person in power. So what's changed? Because they were running the dictatorship, not Mubarak.
And the Tea Party would have opposed the USA Constitution.
That's what the Democrats are saying, that it was not... well, no, they support the Constitution. That's the whole problem. They support the Constitution, and the Democrats don't like that, so...
Obama administration proposes new planning rule for national forests.
Yeah, they're going to basically, okay, like up in Yosemite out here, they finally managed to get the main restaurant and resort facility shut down, supposedly for repairs. Does anybody want to bet that it's never going to open again? Because I've seen it. The Harvey houses all over the park system are being shut down because the people use them to go in to stay at, to eat. And the Democrats don't think that the park should be used for anybody with the Sierra Club.
Paul wins conservative straw poll again.
I mean, this is ridiculous. There's nobody out there going to elect a 76-year-old man to the Congress of the United States, to the presidency. I mean, the place they said the majority of the people that voted were his supporters. They were brought in specifically to do one thing and one thing only, and that was vote. So that the people of this country want a libertarian leader, not a Republican or a Democrat.
And Michelle Obama once again proves why she is the best-dressed president's wife in the history of our nation.
I know. They said that she went to the rack, picked up a $35 dress, and no president's wife could ever carry off a $35 dress like she did.
Oh, she did?
That was basically called B and S, folks. Because she did not look that good, but that's what happens every time she makes a fashion faux pas. It shows why she is the best fashion-conscious president's wife ever. I mean, can you imagine? I can imagine the Kennedys basically, oh my God, you know. I mean, first Nancy Reagan was dressed by the best dressers in Hollywood. The best couturiers in the world dressed Jacqueline Kennedy. So, you think that Michelle Obama's style is better?
I know.
Yeah.
It's just like, Super Bowl, what's it, 45?
Yeah.
Cowboy Stadium falls short of Super Bowl attendance record.
Well, yeah. But first of all, my guess is they shut a lot of this stuff down because there wasn't enough people to fill the seats. And so they wanted to throw tarps over that area, which is what they generally do to give it an excuse for not having the attendance they thought they were going to have.
Oh. Yeah, but all those people didn't get their seats.
Because those were areas they didn't want to have as sparsely populated.
Right, and so they didn't have enough population, so then they
didn't have enough people to populate the seats in the areas that were shut down.
But they didn't give them other seats.
Because those other seats were paid for by other people.
And Bush fears arrest and scraps a Swiss visit.
Well, yeah, they want the Democrats want him arrested for war crimes. So now Bush is basically trapped in the United States for the rest of his life because of the Democrats' demand that he be tried for crimes against humanity.
Why? Do you think he might be arrested in another country?
Yeah. Well, Obama can't leave. Obama's going to get arrested. I mean, you don't think that they're not going to bring him up on criminal charges for firing missiles into people's places?
Confronted with rebellion, GOP promises $100 billion in cuts.
They give $61 billion, and they basically, the Republicans, like all people, cannot find anywhere where they can cut safely. Which means they said the Republican cuts don't amount to $1 trillion over a decade. you have to, and our deficit is 1.5 to 2 trillion a year. So once you're elected in office, you tend to forget why you're there.
Obama, we must cut alcohol abuse to save lives and lower health care.
Isn't that amazing? Now it's a safety issue, and he wants alcohol. He wants to clamp down on all of the beer companies and everything, and all the distilleries in the United States, putting more people out of work. But they also said, here's a good one: his taxes and everything hit the people that support him. They don't hit the other people.
Oh, amazing how that happens.
Isn't that amazing how if you support Obama, every tax that he has going into effect, or every regulation, hits the people that support him.
U.S. fast food caught in immigration crosshairs.
Yeah. It's basically because they hire so many illegal aliens. You can go into, I went into a McDonald's, remember that time? Item dos. Oh, it is a cinco niscos, that telling her what the price is, because she couldn't speak English. And they go to the manager, and the manager, he holds up 2 fingers.
I know. You said men do that enough times.
I know.
And how Obama wins the next election? Whom do you believe? Obama, whom has done so much for you, or your own eyes?
That's what they're talking. I heard them talking about that last night. And you're not going to believe it. I heard her talking about it in a feature film made in England.
What?
About a presidential election being stolen because the man that was in charge basically got control of the media, and he basically manipulated everything to where anybody that stood against him was against this country. So even though people saw, what was going on, who are you going to believe? The President of the United States who's doing this for you, or the people out there that are lying about this great man? And what's funny is the guy was running against a black candidate.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a British movie though, folks.
Brown pushing huge tax hikes to pay union benefits.
I know, isn't that something? No cutting. Well, they said Governor Moonbeam, if he continues on his cutting spree, he will have cut $100 million out of the budget by the time his term is over.
Oh, really?
So he will have added $25 billion in new taxes.
And Germany sells vision for green toys to the world.
No one's going to buy green toys because it costs more money. I mean, if you can't afford to buy toys now, are you going to buy a green toy that's going to cost you 10 times more money?
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
And Planned Parenthood to retrain in reporting risks.
Okay,
yeah, the risk, like somebody coming in and asking you questions.
Okay, I heard that this is one of the right-wing pundits said. Well, you put it this way: if somebody comes in wearing a purple fur coat with spiked hair and lots of jewelry, and he comes in with a girl wearing torn pantyhose and her chest hanging out, you might figure out that those aren't real people.
Oh.
Then he said basically he said the people manning the question set places at Planned Parenthood have the intelligent level of a snail. That's what they got to get rid of. And they said also, I reheard it last night. The people were giving advice. They weren't telling. They asked them a question, they answered the question. They didn't say Planned Parenthood approved of it. They answered the question it was asked, which means they can't get into trouble. So
multiculturalism has failed, says French president.
Oh, the French, the British, the Germans, the Spanish, all of them are saying the same thing, all because they have a problem with multiculturalism. Basically, they have raised their own homebred terrorists, and they're all Muslim.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And government, no electronics laws in Toyotas.
Isn't that amazing? After they destroyed the Toyota company, they can't find any flaws in the system. My guess is the flaws in the system something caused all those cars to crash. So I mean, it was human error. Human error didn't burn a highway patrol officer to death and his family.
No, it didn't. Right. And Assange's lawyer, Sweden acted improperly in the probe.
Isn't that something? Basically, what you want to do is to tell a country that they're not doing things right. So what they'll do is they'll hang your butt. I mean, this guy is going to go into he's probably going to go into the prison where they keep all the Muslim types that don't like gay people.
And Monty Bubbleism from the Mark Twain of the Animal Kingdom.
If you continually fail to learn from anything, it's obvious that you're a politician.